right, so here we go. We're going to start our work on the pelvic floor, and you might need 2 blocks. I like these flat long blocks, but normal blocks work just as well. So these are great too. So I'm going to start with one, and I'm going to lay down on my mat. If you need a support for your head, go ahead and fold a blanket underneath your head and use that so that your chin isn't pointing too far up, and I'll show you. You may not need a blanket. If you do, make a little pillow for yourself, support the back of the head. Okay, move these here. And I'm going to lay down on my mat, support just the head, not the neck or the shoulders. Make sure my feet are flat on the floor. And I'm going to work with this part of my torso. So in our previous video, if you remembered when we were working with the arms, right, there was that tendency of lifting the bottom of the rib cage up. So we keep that on the ground, we don't create that arch, and we bring our arms up. Okay, so now that we're a little bit familiar on what our patterns are in the body, I mean, if you have very tight shoulders or thighs or quads, it's going to affect what happens. So don't worry, just know what your patterns are. So we're going to get a little bit of a height. So I would say this lowest height and put it underneath your sacrum. Okay, like that. So I have my feet on the ground, and here I go. So I'm going to keep my right foot firmly on the ground, and I'm only going to lift my left foot. And I lift it till 90 degrees. So I don't want to bring it near my body. I want to keep this at a 90-degree angle. Okay, so I bring it here, and then I bring it down. And what we're going to notice is that as I bring it up, I untuck my pelvis again. So I tuck the pelvis. So I'm holding the pelvis down with my hands so that I don't create a back bend in my lower back. And I bring the leg down, and I notice that even if I think I'm not arching my back, I'm arching a little bit. So I want to be able, just as I can rotate the arms on my shoulders without destabilizing my spine, I can do the same thing with my legs. So I can use my right leg, press the right foot into the ground so that I keep my pelvis from rotating, okay, back and forth. I want it to stay stable. I don't want to flatten my lumbar curve, but I don't want it to get bigger. Okay, so I bring my leg up and down, up to 90 degrees. I don't bring it closer there, and I bring it down. And I have to develop the sensitivity to notice that every time I bring it up and down, I lose the strength of my, not the strength, but I lose this integrity of that spinal curve. My body compensates a little bit by arching the spine. So I don't do that. I do the same thing with my other leg. So here I tuck, and I bring the leg down. All right, so it's fairly simple, but it is difficult to get it so that you don't arch. Sometimes I illustrated where I use a little bit more height. So I'll do that, and I'll see if I can illustrate my point. Okay. So if I bring a little bit more height there, okay, and I bring my leg up to 90 degrees, and as I come down, let's just say I arch more. So I am not gaining any length here or any strength. So what I want to see is the length here. So if I don't arch my back, right? Do the correct way. I come down, 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 and I'm just lengthening here. Okay, come down. Now, if I arch my back, this is the difference. Okay, this is a very exaggerated example, but it's the same thing that you're doing here. You're bringing the leg down by increasing this length, right? Not by arching the back. All right, so it's creating this stability and the strength in the core. So that's step one. Okay, I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, just text me, but practice this for a good few weeks. It's something that you can do maybe 2-3 minutes every day. Do a few leg lifts, you know, breathing, not holding any tensions in eyes, ears, or throat, and really getting to know what the pattern, not trying to go for perfection, but just noticing, oh wow, I do arch my back a little bit. You know, where's that coming from? And then slowly, as you strengthen, you get a lot more control of the core, and it's pretty wonderful. So I hope you like it. I hope it helps.